Alright, we're just gonna jump right into this one. This is a Thorns cosplay. I'll mostly just be building the prop and the outfit I'll be ordering online. My general method for this build is to use 3D, or no, not 3D. Car 2D CAD software, specifically for laser cutting. And here you can pretty much just see me take a side profile image of Thorns' sword and then use that as sort of a base and trace out a usable path pretty much for the laser to follow. But yeah, not too much to explain with this build, pretty much just laser cut, glue it together, clamp it, spray paint, and well, there is something special near the end, but I'll save that for later. Alright, I didn't record this part because it was a fucking pain in the ass to cut cut this PVC pipe to fit. But even without these screws and fittings, it's pretty sturdy. But with them, it's like really solid. Like you could even, I could easily do a few swings right now just to mimic Thorns. And it swings just fine. But still got a lot of work to do, especially with sanding and reinforcing the spines of the handguard. But so far so good. And yeah, gonna move on to sanding now. All right, this is the current state of the blade edge. Let's see how it turns out after a few hours of sanding.
Not a bad shave on either side. Comes to a nice point. But now I just need to shave a bit of the messy parts on the edges.
So I should probably explain what I'm doing right now, especially for my fellow cosplayers, because I don't really see this talked about too often, and it's a really good trick, especially for spray painting. So whenever you're spray painting and you want to protect the color that you already applied, for example right here I have yellow already spray painted and I'm about to spray paint black and I want to protect the yellow. I see a lot of people sometimes use painter's tape or masking tape, and I find that the adhesive qualities on those are a little too strong, especially if you're in a hurry and you don't feel like letting it dry for several hours. What I like to use is called transfer vinyl tape, or transfer tape for vinyl. A lot of people use it in crickets for, well, vinyl art, but I find that its adhesive qualities are pretty much right on the sweet spot for applying it to spray painted surfaces and protecting whatever's underneath it when you're about to spray on another color. I've got some more advanced applications in mind for this method, but I think I'll save that for another build. Alright, forgot to hit record because I'm a fucking dipshit. But yeah, pretty much getting the silver pieces on, not bothering with hot glue, instead just going straight to super glue. And yeah, pretty simple. Just making sure everything fits together well. It's not going to be perfect. Alright, after that's dried, moving on to the glaze. So I got these glow-in-the-dark powder that I ordered online. Didn't come with yellow, but I should be able to mix green and blue in order to get yellow. So one mistake I made here is in adding the sort of lemony colored dye, because it has a tinge of green in it. And because it's a dye, it'll absorb all colors except for yellow and a tiny bit of green. That causes the blue glow-in-the-dark powder to be absorbed slightly, at least the light that it gives off, which kind of forces me to use more of the blue glow-in-the-dark powder to make up for that. Definitely too much green. Need quite a bit more blue. Second mistake I made here is that the green glow-in-the-dark powder absorbs light much faster and much more readily than the blue glow-in-the-dark powder. So whenever I mix it in and I shine a light through it and then I take it into a dark room or whatever, the green glows much more strongly than the blue, just because of that difference in energy levels. Either way, the end result, at least in terms of the glow color, wasn't exactly what I was going for, but it still turned out pretty cool nonetheless. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. At this point, I pretty much have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Like, I'm just trying shit out and hoping that it works out alright. Which is pretty much the main motif of all my builds and crazy fucking projects. Like right here, I really should have just laid it down flat and then applied it to one side and then let it cure completely before I apply it to the other side. But live and learn, just trying to experiment with stuff. And honestly, that's all you can do sometimes, like especially if there's not too much information out there on specifically how you're going to apply certain methods. And if you're willing to try stuff out and experiment and know enough about what you're doing, then sometimes you end up with something pretty cool. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I really wanted to get a build done quickly, especially after going to ASEN or Anime Central in Chicago, Illinois. I was kind of low on motivation, and after like pretty much day 0 of going to that con, I was like at max inspiration, wanted to get home, started working on shit, especially after seeing all the awesome cosplays, builds, and especially after going to one of the Arc Nights photo shoots. Everybody there was awesome, all the builds were awesome. I need to get this fucking video done. See ya!